Hi, I'm John Byrne with Poets&Quants.
Sandy Kreisberg, the HBS guru.
And welcome to another edition of Handicapping Your Elite MBA Odds. Today we have a 20-year-old Asian American. He's a junior at a top 10 public university, and he wants to get into Harvard's famed 2+2
John, we're going to
program.
use this profile as a way to explain for all our viewers what it takes to get into 2+2, what the typical 2+2 profile is. I understand John had a very important sit down with Dee Leopold, the director of the 2+2 program. And what did I ask you to find out from that sit down, John?
Is she single?
Ha ha. Seriously. Yeah.
What's the secret sauce? Well, I mean,
How is 2+2
different?
How is 2+2 different from the regular pool?
Yeah, and indeed.
And what did I predict she would say?
Well, exactly the same. Well, it is.
I predicted she would say exactly the same.
And it is.
And what do we know?
We know that the
liar, your pants are on fire.
We know the acceptance rate is exactly the same, 11% acceptance rate. We know that the GPA is roughly the same,
Good.
3.7.
Okay. So in terms of stats,
yep.
You need a 730 GMAT-ish.
That's right.
You need
Median
a 3.7 GPA.
Yep. That's all similar.
Yeah. What's the big difference, as I told you earlier? Can you remember?
Yes, indeed. STEM.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah. These are the numbers. 2+2, 60% of the 110 admitted kids, 60% are STEM. In the class, the big class, the regular HBS class, 38% are STEM.
Big difference.
60 versus 38. Guess who pays for that? Guess who 2+2 doesn't like?
Econ and business majors.
Yes. This is something I've been saying for a long time. Harvard Business School does not like business majors. 2+2 really does not like business majors. Business and economic majors in 2+2 is 20%. In the class in general, 41%.
And there's one other little fact to this, and it's the international representation in the class.
Yes, I think I've got that someplace.
Yeah. So what is it in the main class, and what is it in the latest 2+2 class?
2+2, 79% of the admitted students are Americans. In the regular class, 65%. So if you wanted a poster boy of the 2+2 applicant, it would be a STEM American, okay?
And guess what? Our poster boy is a STEM American. He's an Asian American.
Yeah, okay, so go through our applicant here.
Okay, he's a triple threat at school. He's a math major. He is an Eastern Asian Studies major. He is a finance major. In the math major, he has a 4.0 overall. It's 3.9. He expects a 740 GPA, which puts him 10.
740 GMAT.
That's sorry, 740 GMAT, which would put him, if he gets it, because it's expected, 10 points over the median for the 2+2 cohort.
Right.
And here's what's really interesting. He's had 2 interns so far. One at a quant trading firm, which was during the summer. One part-time now is he's going to school with, in fact, a data analytics firm, and he's lined up for his summer internship this coming year at either McKinsey, Bain, BCG. You can't do better than that.
You can do a lot better than that.
Where can you go?
This guy is in danger of being too quanty, okay? Let me just make this point. Yep. Quant trading is something that is not music to Harvard Business School's ears, okay? Quant trading, you do not need an MBA for, okay? And I would not say that that is what you want to do either. This guy has the possibility of coming off as too quanty. My advice to this guy would have been what he did. Get a job at McKinsey, Bain, or BCG. That is very traditional, very mainline, and it's quanty, but it's not super quanty, okay? So what this guy has to do to get into 2+2 is to show his non-business, non-quanty side. And I would advise him in presenting himself and his goals to keep that in mind.
And his extras are good. He's director of the only student-run, quant investment fund on campus.
Good.
Okay.
That is not a plus, potentially a minus. What else?
He plays racket sports, badminton, and table tennis on the school team.
Neither here nor there.
Okay, and he has significant involvement in an ethnic student professional organization where he's the former director.
Yeah, also not good.
Okay.
Let me, no.
Yeah, tell
don't,
why,
don't just
though.
say okay.
Explain why, though.
It's too career focused. Very important for 2+2 candidates, and this is general advice. Impact, what business schools look for, particularly Harvard and Stanford, impact beyond yourself. Impact beyond yourself. Helping victims, helping people who are subject to diseases, those are good. Starting a business club, starting a quant business club, too self-interested, too directly in line of your own interests. $1 million worth of advice just came out of my mouth, ladies and gentlemen.
And the whole point of that is, they're looking at multidimensional candidates, not people who are so narrowly focused on one thing, because they're less interesting people generally, right?
I don't know. I'm just telling you what works. With the admissions office, after you get in, different rules apply, okay?
Let's talk a little bit about 2+2, because we actually didn't define it for people who don't know what it is, right? And it's basically a deferred admissions program that requires those who are admitted to go and get at least 2 years of work experience.
If you're watching this tape, if you've gotten this far,
you should know.
Sandy says you know what 2+2 is. If you don't, look it up.
But 2+2, it's also a misnomer in the sense that most people actually work 3, 4, in a few cases, even 5 years before they actually take advantage of their offer and go back to Harvard Business School.
True that.
And one of the things I discovered in my dinner with Dee the other night was they're really putting a lot of emphasis on professional development from the time you get admitted until the time you actually arrive on campus. So
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
read his
interesting.
article with his dinner with Dee. It has a lot of unhelpful information like that. If you want to know how to get in,
there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so our friend here, what do you think his shot is at Harvard, and then of course Stanford GSB deferred program as well, because they have a deferred program.
Let's do it, Stanford.
Yeah.
This is not a Stanford guy. He's too quanty. He's too business focused. Okay. Whether Stanford will admit him just based on the fact that he's super solid, I would advise getting a 760 GMAT. You heard it here, okay? I think this guy's going to have a hard time at Stanford. He'll have an easier time as a regular applicant. I think at Harvard, I think his chances are like 40%, which is 30 to 40%, which is saying something. 2+2 is, even though the odds are the same as the regular class, the pool is more select, so it's harder. It's harder to get in, even though the odds are the same, because the pool is more selective.
Yeah. And one thing about that pool, since it's so young, and the research definitely shows this, is that younger people who are still in college and have the practice of taking exams and tests always do much better on the GMAT.
Yeah, that's one fact. But the other fact is,
so all the GMATs are much higher.
The 2+2 pool is just more ambitious. They know about it. They've applied. They've heard about it. A lot of people go through college and 2+2, they don't find out about it. So they're hipper.
All right, so Mr. 2+2, we think you got a good shot. You're just about in the sweet spot, maybe a little here, a little bit there. He needs to start a club for disadvantaged people, right? That would help.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's got time. He's a rising junior. He's got another year plus in undergrad, so he should get it done, although he's probably going to meet the deadline for this upcoming cycle. Okay. So maybe
Who cares about this guy? If you're out there, if you're thinking about 2+2, those are the big metrics. American, STEM, it's selective, and try and have an X factor.
There you go. Well, good luck to you. And for all of you out there, if you would like an assessment from Sandy, just put your profile and your stats in the comment section. Otherwise,
True dat.
happy trails.
Bye-bye.